Sports Talk with Prater and the Ballgame presents Overrated, Underrated. Lots of different topics with no middle ground. You can tell us what you think on the Cloverdale Plumbing text line at 208-424-9300. Okay, time to bring it, Johnny.
Do not miss George Tarlis, Boise State edge defensive end, in about 45 minutes here on Idaho Sports Talk. But heck yeah, let's do a little overrated or underrated, or you can push. We'll give it, push here, push there. I'm going to be a little more lenient with you two today. If it's perfectly rated, push it. Okay, JP?
I can do that. I've known to push before.
We are starting with you, John Patrick.
Okay.
Overrated or underrated? A long, hot shower.
Oh, a long hot shower is totally underrated. I like to stay in the shower as long as I possibly can in the morning, and I actually get the temperature as hot as I can possibly take.
Just as hard as you can take.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then maybe back it off just a little bit, Johnny. But for the most part, I am just a nice long, because I get some good ideas in the shower.
I do too.
So, maybe, many a show topics have come up in the JP's hot shower. I don't know, but I'm going to say it's totally underrated.
Prater, long hot showers, man.
Might be the most thing that JP and I have in common. I love it. As hot as possible.
Yeah.
And I need the flow. I need a fire. I need a fire department pressure.
It's got to pressure hard.
I need pressure. I need some serious heat. And if I get out of there before 8 minutes, it's a failure.
Oh, yeah, definitely. At least 8 minutes.
8 to 10 minutes. Right. I kill half the Snake River every time I shower.
People probably are saying you're wasting water, JP and Prater, and we're like, you know what? We don't care.
Guys,
we have
I'm
a
the
show
same
to
way.
put on.
Yeah, I'm totally with you on that, especially on the heat. I like it mega hot. Sometimes I come out and there's red spots on my skin, and my girlfriend's like, "Why do you shower?" It's great. Anyway, okay, good stuff there. You guys play at home on the Cloverdale Plumbing text line. Next one, Prater, laying on a blanket and staring at the sky. Is that overrated or underrated?
It's underrated, but you have to be in the mountains and you have to be looking at the stars and you have to look through trees. And, you know me, I'm kind of this camping nerd, and that's a very big part of the whole camping scene. So I guess you could do it in your backyard or in the park with the kids. But, I love doing that, but only in the mountains when you're camping.
JP's?
I don't, I like to look at the stars. I don't know if I've, the last time I actually laid on a blanket and looked at the stars, probably last year, actually, when I was trying to find the comet. I dragged the old lady Prater up to Bogus Basin to try to find the comet, and we were laying on a blanket looking at the stars. So
there you go.
I'm going to say it's totally underrated. So
JP with a little romance.
You guys are both 2 for 2 on this thing, too.
Fix that ball game. Fix that ball game.
Who was that behind me just now?
JP, you're playing to our video audience. Our radio audience has no idea what he's talking about. We have somebody sneaking into the studio. Okay, Prater. I'm sorry, JP, let me start with you on this.
Okay.
Using a brand new toothbrush. Is that overrated or underrated?
I would say it's probably underrated. I mean, I swap mine out occasionally. Probably, I don't know.
How many times a year?
I'm going to say once a quarter.
Okay.
4 new toothbrushes a year.
It's probably more than I go through.
I don't know the difference. So I'm going to say it's totally underrated.
Underrated. I may switch them out once or twice more than JP, maybe every couple months.
And you like it. It's a good feeling getting that new toothbrush.
Prater's biannual. I'm once a quarter.
I just, I just got to brush my teeth and move on.
Exactly. I mean,
I kind of like, though, when you get a toothbrush formed. It kind of fits your mouth better if you've used one for a few months.
Yeah, that's just when it becomes, beaten up and you have to change it.
Okay. All right. JP, flicking through the rack of posters at the Record Exchange, overrated or underrated?
I've done it before. I haven't been in the Record Exchange for a while. My son does work there, by the way. We'll give him a plug. I did back in the day when I used to buy posters to hang on my bedroom wall when I was younger. It would be totally underrated, but I'm going to say right now it's overrated a little bit.
Prater, do you do that at all?
Yes, every single time I go into the Record Exchange. It's probably the first stop. You turn right after you get in the door there, and you go back up against that wall, and they got that whole big row of them, and they're absolutely perfect. They actually got a bin with posters in it, and they got the rack where you can flip it, and it's one of the coolest things about the Record Exchange. There's a plug, and my son does not work there. I'm specifically looking for one poster, though.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking for this very classic YouTube poster for the wife. So I've been on like a 10-year mission to find that.
You can't go online? You can't?
Well, I just like buying things from the record exchange.
Oh, okay.
I like supporting the record exchange.
Can you tell us what the YouTube poster looks like?
No.
Personal. Okay.
Personal.
Prater, blasting the tunes in your car. Are you one of those guys that turns the volume way up when the song you want comes on? Is that overrated or underrated? Cranking up the tunes in your rig.
Crank them as hard as possible. I've been doing it since high school. My dad in high school told me that I would go deaf one day because I play the music too loud. I was driving home yesterday and I had on my Subaru.
There you go. There's a plug.
It goes to a new plug segment.
It goes to 38 on the volume meter. I needed about 10 more. I had the windows down for the first time in a long time. I had the sunroof open, and I was just driving everybody at the intersection crazy, loud as possible. That's the one thing I like to do. Well, okay, never mind. That's one thing I like to do that annoys people.
just one.
JP, are you a musical cranker in the Camry?
Do you know how I described how I like to have a shower and it has to be the hottest water temperature ever?
Yeah.
Same thing if I'm driving down the road and I listen to some music. It has to be as loud as I can possibly take it. Absolutely. Why would I, Johnny Ballgame, listen to AC/DC Whole Lotta Rosie and not have it cranked up to where, and I'm a singer in the car. I mean,
do you really?
Absolutely. Yes. I can tell if I'm in a good mood or a bad. If I don't sing I'm like nervous or, something's on my mind or whatever. If I don't sing, but if I'm singing, I got that sucker cranked up, Johnny.
I love it. Okay.
Got her cranked up.
JP, the drive back on a road trip, is that overrated or underrated? The trip home.
Totally overrated. The trip to wherever you're going is the best.
Yes.
It doesn't matter how long it takes you to get there. When I'm coming back, I just want it to be done and get me home, get me out of the car, get me on the couch, get me in my sweatpants.
Yep.
Totally overrated.
Jay Prater.
Underrated. You know me, I don't like my vacations to end. If it's a 6-hour drive coming back, we turn it into 10 hours. We do a couple little side ventures, a couple little side journeys. I don't like to come home from vacation until midnight the night before.
That is true.
We will extend that sucker and enjoy that sucker and relish that sucker for as long as humanly possible.
I hate the drive home, man. Prater, I can't handle it.
You don't do it though. When was the last time you got in a car and went on you've never gone on a road trip in your car since I've met you. Ever. You get in the plane and go on road trips and do lots of fun things there. I don't think you've driven past KTIK since I've met you.
I went to LeGrand earlier this summer.
Well, that's a 2-hour trip.
2.5 each way.
But that's not that big a deal coming back from LeGrand.
No.
I mean,
you don't take road trips in cars.
Not as often. No. You're
we
right.
love it. We love it. I bet you I put 10 to 12,000 miles on my car this summer alone.
Damn. Yeah. Okay. Well, Prater, let's start with you on this one. We've all stayed in hotels. Okay. Living like a total slob in your hotel room.
You've asked this one before.
Overrated or underrated?
It's completely overrated. You've asked this before. JP and I both said, be responsible, be respectful, be nice, and treat it like your home. And then you told us that you loved to trash the hotel room as much as possible.
I do.
And leave it as gross as possible for the maid. And JP and I both beat you up.
Okay.
And okay. I will echo what Prater just said, Johnny. You can't just be a total slob. Come on, who do you think you are, Keith Moon? You're just into trash and hotel. You're like a 1970s rock band. No,
I put the towels in a pile.
And exactly, and especially if I'm with my wife, she's like, oh, "Come on, man, let's keep this thing orderly here."
Yeah,
Johnny leaves the shopping cart in his hotel room.
Pizza boxes.
No.
I had a couple of Coke bottles on the floor, not on the trash. Every single towel was used, and they were spread around the bathroom. The toilet was dry.
This was your last trip up to Moscow?
Just at the Best Western in Moscow, Idaho over the weekend. I trashed that place, man. I stayed there for 2 nights.
You're disgusting and you're lazy. You're disgusting and you're lazy.
I love it.
Stop being disgusting and stop being lazy.
JP, what about wearing clothes straight out of the dryer? Is that overrated or underrated?
I'm going to say in my house, it's underrated because my house is so cold. So if you're pulling something out of the dryer, it's kind of warm, you know?
Your house is cold? Okay, you guys like the temperature.
Well, I don't like it cold. My wife likes it cold.
Okay.
I like it about 73 to 74. She
That's
likes
hot.
it like 68. So usually it's kind of chilly in my house. And I'm wearing sweatshirts, Johnny, in my house in the summertime is how cold it gets. So I'm going to say, throwing on some nice warm sweatpants or
Right
a
out of the
sweatshirt or
dryer.
something out of the dryer. Yeah, I'm going to say that's underrated.
Praeters.
Depends on the season. If it's summertime, no. If it's wintertime, probably feels kind of good, especially when you get away from this studio, which it's like a freezer box in this studio,
74 in here, Prater.
Well, I don't.
I never wear clothes straight out of the dryer, so I really don't.
I really don't either. But in the
You
winter
pick them
time,
up off the floor.
No, we fold them.
It's kind of a nice touch in the wintertime.
Prater, opening a new can of tennis balls, overrated or underrated?
Like, when do you think the last time I did that was? if ever. I think I'm pretty comfortable in saying in my life I've never bought a can of tennis balls. I've never done that.
You've never done the open when you crack open the tennis balls and you get the greatest.
Do I look
smell?
like a guy that's cracking open cans of tennis balls?
Oh, I huff those tennis ball things, man.
What does that mean?
He
means
smells them.
I smell them so much I get a little buzz.
Like, what, you go buy them just for that? You don't play tennis.
I don't.
So what, are you lying? You're making this up.
No, I think we've all at one point opened the big tennis balls because you get that smell. Guys, text me on this. I know what I'm talking about, right, JP?
I'm not disputing that it smells. I'm just saying who opens cans of tennis balls unless you're a tennis player.
I probably bought a can of tennis balls, for a dog toys or something.
Yeah, sure, sure.
I can't remember the last time I actually bought a can of tennis. How much does a can of tennis balls cost, Johnny?
I bet it's
$7?
Yeah, probably
He's
7 to
never
10
bought
bucks
one.
now.
He's not.
When's
been
the
a
last
long
time you opened up a can of tennis balls?
When I worked at Big Five Sporting Goods.
When was that? 15 years ago?
Yeah, probably.
He's bringing up stuff 15 years ago, Prater. 15 years ago.
That's the thing, man.
Like,
that smell, man.
It's like he woke up this morning and went, God dang, remember that time I opened up that can of tennis balls? It was so good.
Like if you see a random thing of tennis balls there and it's unopened, dude, go there, open it, take a couple of whiffs, Prater. It'll make your day a lot easier.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
I'm going to pass on that one.
JP, sushi, overrated or underrated?
I'm not a sushi guy. I'm saying overrated.
What?
I like my food cooked, although Prater bought me sushi once, but it was cooked. It was a cooked
It
one.
was?
It was
Yeah.
a cooked one, yeah.
I liked it, but I'm
Prater
not the
bought
biggest.
you sushi?
Because
No, I gave him one bite.
you
of a
brought
roll.
me in
It
a
was-
sushi roll. One
Okay,
time.
maybe from Barry's old place.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Because I always talked about how I don't like sushi
Yeah.
and I like my food cooked. And
And
I'm
Prater
going to
was
say
trying to-
overrated.
And you
Overrated.
didn't like it. Okay, Prater.
No, I liked it, but it was cooked.
Prater.
I'm dieting right now, and when I reach a goal, like every 2 weeks, I get one cheat meal. That was
Ooh.
today,
Ooh.
and I went straight to sushi.
I love
Really?
sushi, man.
I had 2 giant sushi rolls for lunch today.
Oh, I'm envious. I love it, man.
There is not a piece of sushi out there in the world that I will not put in my mouth that I will not love. It's sushi is just a beautiful,
Prater used
beautiful
to
thing.
Alright.
be a endorser of
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, I would love a sushi endorsement. We should share one.
Yeah.
We'll go eat sushi from this place every single week for lunch, and we come back that day and tell you about what rolls we ordered and how well they tasted. Sushi people, get in touch with us. Let's set that thing up. Prater, one more.
All right.
The Golden Corral Buffet. Have you ever been to Golden Corral? Is it overrated or underrated?
Never been.
Chuck Wagon Buffet. Have you ever been to a Chuck
Never
Wagon?
been.
Overrated or underrated?
Never been.
Express Chinese Buffet. Have you ever been there? Overrated or underrated?
Never been.
Okay. JP?
I'm going to say that a buffet is underrated. I haven't been in a long time, but man, you can get whatever the hell you want, and there's desserts left and right, and there's like chocolate.
I'm not about. I mean, I know I look like it, but when you sit down at a food thing, and the only thing on your mind is quantity over quality, you're kind of misguided in my mind. I'd rather have great food and less of it than disgusting food and a whole bunch in front of me. So I know it doesn't look like it, but I am not a buffet guy. Give me the fancy steak dinner at the fancy steak restaurant, and we're going to take care of some business.
Eat as much as you possibly
JP,
can.
Buffets are not going to happen.
At Golden Corral, man, the coconut shrimp.
Oh,
You know, the desserts, like you said, the pot. I mean, at Prater, it's disgusting.
Yes.
But there's a lot of it, and you can keep going back. Like sometimes I just get a craving. Like I just want to go to a cheap buffet and just pig out. I do that. And I bet JP would be interested if I
Did you go to a
him.
cheap buffet up in Moscow last weekend?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I haven't, but I saw
wondering-
a TV commercial for one. And I thought about it.
I wondered how many of these topics today came from your trip to Moscow last weekend.
Overrated or underrated? Appreciate you guys playing at home. All the texts coming in. That's wonderful to see. How about John Zamberlin, former NFL player, former head coach at the Idaho State University Bengals. Now he's coaching the Meridian Warriors, and he's our guest this week for your Mountain West Bank Prep Rally. We got that coming, and don't forget Rock Jocks, Pop Culture around the corner, and George Tarlis at 5 o'clock. Prater in the Ballgame.